Hello all and welcome back to Darts Rewind, and this time it's 2020, a year where the world was in chaos. COVID took over and that had huge implications for the darting world. But it all started with great promise as Peter Wright finally got the better of Michael van Gerwen in a big final by winning his first World Championships. Little did we know that at this time, something was brewing which would change everything. Into January and to Q-School, some big names of the future getting cards this year as Mike De Decker, Bradley Brooks, Karel Sedlacek, Damon Heta and Dirk van Duijvenbode winning tour cards. Callum Rydz won his on the Challenge Tour, but perhaps the biggest of all was Lisa Ashton becoming the first lady to win a tour card. Peter Wright would follow up his World Championship win to take the Masters title, beating unlucky Michael Smith in the final.
Yes, it's there. The world champion is now the Masters champion, and he gets away with it.
February brought the start of the Premier League and the challengers would return. Glenn Durrant and Nathan Aspinall would make their debuts in the tournament this year. And then the world started to learn about what was to come.
The latest UK case of coronavirus is the first to be contracted within the country rather than abroad. 20 people now have coronavirus, with Wales reporting its first patient.
Issue of coronavirus is something that is now the government's top priority.
If you get a cough or fever, then you need to stay indoors and avoid contact with other people.
Well, the PDC didn't do that. As March came and the UK Open, Michael van Gerwen faced Price in the final and Price started well, going 7-5 up. But nerves got the better of him and van Gerwen came back to win 11-9.
Two darts. He only needs one. Boom! And a big boom.
MVG won the title, beating Gerwin Price in the final, but that wasn't the top story as COVID-19 took over.
Urge you, at this moment of national emergency, to stay at home, protect our NHS and save lives.
3 days later, the Premier League night took place before everything in darts was postponed until further notice. Everyone was forced into lockdown to stop the spread of coronavirus and everything changed. This fella was doing online PE classes for the country and we all got really good at Zoom quizzes. But with lockdown came consequences.
European Championships this summer will be postponed until 2021.
The 2020 Summer Olympics, now the latest major sports cancellation caused by the global COVID-19 pandemic.
But the PDC thought of something else and announced a home tour with players battling it out online. This was won by Nathan Aspinall. And so to the summer, and professional sports could continue, albeit without spectators and with strict measures on health and safety. July brought the match play and the first PDC event on TV with no crowd. And it was strange, with crowd noise being played into the arena. Dimmy adjusted the best as he came away with his first major TV title, beating Anderson in the final.
Done it. Match play glory of his match.
The Premier League returned, but in a similar way to the Players' Championships, with nights played back-to-back across the week to ensure players could isolate before and not be at risk of catching the virus. Again with no crowd, but at least we had darts on TV. This gave us a finals night of Glenn Durrant, Nathan Aspinall, Gary Anderson and Peter Wright to be played later in the year in the hope that a crowd could join. The World Series finals were held in Austria. They had different rules and so we had a crowd, albeit small and socially distant. And with there being no World Series events, everyone was invited to the finals. It would be Price who would beat Cross in the final.
He wins the title. 11-9.
October brought the Grand Prix and Price was on form again as he won the title, beating debuting Dirk in the final. A great run for Dirk van Duijvenbode to make his first major final.
Is the match. That is the championship.
The Premier League returned, but sadly there couldn't be a crowd. Glenn Durrant would follow up his table-topping performance by beating Anderson to make the final. The other debutant this year, Nathan Aspinall, would also make the final by beating Peter Wright. But it would be Durrant who won the final to take the Premier League title.
Himself on to cross the line. And he has crossed the line. The man who...
Sadly for Glenn, this was his last big highlight before getting COVID and falling off the tour a couple of years later. The PDC announced that 2020 would bring the first ever Women's Series, effectively Players' Championships for women, and started with 4 back-to-back events. Lisa Ashton would take the first one, with Dieter Hedman, Fallon Sherrick and again Lisa taking the 4 titles.
Tops. This time she's gone for the treble. She's got it, and the double. And Lisa Ashton is the winning woman.
The European Championships were up next, and it was Peter Wright who'd win his first Euros by beating James Wade in the final.
Superb! What a way to take it!
The World Cup was rescheduled for November, and it was the start of something magical for Wales as Gerwyn Price and Johnny Clayton won the title versus England. This would not only be start of this great partnership, but also the start of the best 18 months of Johnny Clayton's darting life.
For finish, the Welsh rule the world. They are World Cup winners. Get
Owen Price!
The Grand Slam was next, and back to behind closed doors, Mikuru Suzuki got to 4-4 with Gerwyn Price in the group stage and missed this for the match.
So 10 up for tops for the match.
Gezi would let her back in, but 3 more missed match darts gave Price the win.
Cannot keep giving this man chances because he will take them. And there you see Mikuru Suzuki, she knows, she fluffed the line.
James Wade would face Jose de Salzman in the final, and Wade's Grand Slam final woes continued as Jose hit a brilliant 158 to come out on top 16-12 for his first major title.
Double 19! That is astonishing! Absolutely incredible! He's in tears!
Players' Championship finals up next, and Michael van Gerwen was back on top as he beat Mervyn King in a cracking final. King didn't seem too pleased with MVG's celebration though.
The world #1! Absolute joy and delight on the face of Michael van Gerwen!
And so, to the 2021 World Championships. No crowd was present. How would this impact the players? Well, defending champion Wright would go out to German giant Clemens in the 3rd round in a classic. Joe Cullen would go 3-1 up via MVG on a race to 4, and Van Gerwen needed a comeback. But at 3-2, Cullen missed the ball for the match, before doing the same at 3-3 for a 1-6-4. That would prove pivotal, and Michael van Gerwen would take the decider to win the match. One of the great games ever at Ali Pali, and MVG had Chisnell next. But Chizzy wasn't hanging around as he went 1-0 up on a race to 5. 1-0 would become 2-0. 2-0 would become 3-0. Before being treated to probably the former best leg ever.
There's 12. Answered. No, I know what a 9 looks like. and he's still on for it. He's still on for it! Yes! 60, 57, 24. There's the 60. There's the 57. Double 12! What? How? What a staggering leg of darts!
Chizzy would average 108 in this 5-0 demolition of Michael van Gerwen. A match we truly couldn't believe we were watching.
That is simply sensational!
Chisnell couldn't beat Anderson in the semi, however, and so the final would be Gary Anderson versus Gerwyn Price. And we all know about the history with these two from the Grand Slam. Anderson couldn't find his top form, and Price flew into a 4-1 lead, but at 6-2, Price got nervous.
Double 10. Reminiscent of Peter Wright last year if he gets this. He's on double 5.
Missed darts gave Anderson a chance, and despite making it 6-3, he never really took those chances, and with 100 average, Gerwyn Price became world champion, and with that, the new world #1.
Price is the champion of the world!
So, a strange year for everyone, which continued into 2021. Subscribe if you're new, as that video will be dropping soon, and you won't want to miss the year of Johnny Clayton. Thanks for watching everyone, we'll see you on the next one.